Just snow falling right now across West Michigan, but temperatures this evening actually going to inch up a degree or two, and that sets the perfect stage for some freezing rain as we approach midnight tonight. In fact, it's not out of the question that we see as much as 1/10 of an inch of icing, which is plenty enough to make things really slick overnight into early tomorrow morning. We'll start with Storm Track Live, a bevy of blue all across lower Michigan right now. I'm just checking the latest ground observations at the area weather stations, and we're mainly seeing just light snow. Ionia reporting mixed precipitation. Could be a little sleet mixed in. We've seen some of that this afternoon. But across southwest lower Michigan, no freezing rain as of right now. It's all snow. But that warmer air is slowly inching its way northward here, where you see the purple entering parts of Berrien County. That's representing what could be falling as a mixed precip or even a little bit of light freezing drizzle. As that continues northward into Kalamazoo, several more hours before we see it make its way into Kalamazoo here. And it looks like we're talking about more like 4 or 5 hours before we see that chance of freezing drizzle here into Grand Rapids. Temperatures are critical tonight. Notice how we're at 28 here in Grand Rapids, 28 also in Kalamazoo. With sub-freezing temperatures, that means if we get a little bit of rain to fall from the sky, it's likely to ice over overnight. I believe the best time frame for freezing rain comes as we approach midnight into early tomorrow morning. The good news is for those of us traveling tomorrow morning, way to work, way to school, temperatures ought to warm up enough to melt any icing we see from most of West Michigan. But once you go north of I-96, so this includes Greenville, much of Newaygo and Mecosta County, all of Montcalm County as well, we have a good chance for temperatures still to be sub-freezing and that icing to continue impacting the drive to work tomorrow. Now, in terms of total icing and additional impacts, I want to bring in Storm Team meteorologist Laura Velasquez for that angle.
Yeah, Kyle, we are looking at some of those totals that are expected to climb here as we approach that midnight time frame. Now, you notice when we start this at 7 o'clock, some of the icing numbers showing 0, but as we started and put it into motion, you're going to notice as it moves toward midnight, we start to see some of these numbers increase to 1/10 of an inch, or in some cases a little bit more. Now, I ran this right on through 5 o'clock in the morning because that's when the winter weather advisory is set to expire for most of us, and 1/10 of an inch of ice doesn't sound like a lot, but it really can cause some issues. So here are the biggest impacts as we look at this icing situation that's developing through the overnight hours. This is certainly going to be the highest impact time frame from, say, 10 or 11 o'clock to, say, 3 or 4 in the morning for most of us. Now, if you live on a side road or on a dirt road especially, the depth of the frost or how deep the ground is at or below freezing is much larger than it sometimes is. So those dirt roads tend to stay icy longer, especially farther north and northeast of Grand Rapids, where, as Kyle just mentioned, the temperatures are going to warm up much slower. The good news for us near Interstate 96 is it looks as though temperatures are going to be warming up just in time that the ice starts to melt for the morning commute. It's really going to be a close call, though we'll monitor those situations closely, of course, at 10, 11 tonight, and be sure to tune into Daybreak tomorrow morning, starting dark and early at 4:30.
And we've got you covered as always. We'll keep you up to speed on what's happening now and what's coming next tonight on your 24-hour news date at 11, and of course always at woodtv.com. And we've already got team coverage plans in place to bring you the latest weather information and school closings. That all starts tomorrow morning. That's at 4:30 in the morning on your 24-hour news 8 Daybreak.